Okay, so we're gonna talk about this biomolecule. Oh, there's someone else. Okay, and this is a molecule that your body makes and is in charge of the well-being of your body. Basically, it's a molecule that protects our cells, protects our tissues, and has many benefits for health. Right. So this is a new way of seeing health, of improving health in a very simple and easy way. So we have that the glutathione status of a cell is the most conclusive indicator of the health of the cell and probably the health of a person. So if we have a good level of this biomolecule that is called glutathione, we are probably going to have much better health, and we're probably going to avoid disease, because this molecule has many functions in the body, and they're all related to protection, immunity, anti-aging, and energy. So if we get our cells to make enough glutathione, then we're going to see many benefits in many areas of our health, right? This is called glutathione. This is a molecule that exists in every cell in your body. Every cell needs glutathione, and it's the most abundant molecule after water. So that means it is very important as water is. And we all know that water is important, but not many people know that glutathione levels are very important for health, right? This is something that we lose in time. We have a good level when we're young. That means when we're young, we don't have many diseases. But then as we age, we start having health problems, and people think that's normal. That's a big mistake, because it's not necessary, it's not normal that we have any disease when we age. We can die in health, basically. We can not have chronic diseases. And these chronic diseases start coming when we lose the levels of glutathione. And they've seen this in many research, in many studies. They've seen that when people have cancer, when people have neurological diseases, when people have symptoms, they normally have lower levels of glutathione in comparison with healthy individuals. So what is glutathione? As I said, it has many functions. We're not going to talk about all the functions that it has, but the main functions is these 4 here, and all of them are very major for health. We all need a good immune system, not only for avoiding viruses, but also for avoiding aging symptoms. I mean, in the immune system is very related to how we age as well. And we need the immune system to avoid inflammation as well in the body. This molecule regulates the immune system. It helps the lymphocytes, but also it protects the body against autoimmune diseases, allergies, asthma, right? So it's very important for immunity. If you need more details about immunity, we can go back to this later. Then it's very important for detoxification. And we all know we need to detoxify the body because we accumulate toxins in time. And glutathione is mainly in the liver and the kidney. These 2 organs have the most glutathione because they need it the most. So the liver needs glutathione to detoxify xenobiotics, chemicals, heavy metals, excess estrogens, anything that needs to be excreted from the body. And the kidney also needs glutathione. So we can say that this is a very important function. It's probably the most well-known function. If you talk to any doctor or therapist and you talk about glutathione, they're going to think about the liver, and they're going to think maybe not so much about the kidney, but they're going to think about the liver. So it's also important to diminish cholesterol levels, to diminish transaminase, anything that is affecting the liver or the fats in the body as well. Then a not so well-known function is to raise the levels of energy in the cell. So if the cell needs glutathione as much as we need glutathione, the cell needs glutathione to maintain its functions, to absorb the nutrients, to get rid of toxins, acids. So it gives energy to the cell. And if we have something that gives energy to the cell, then this is going to help us recover health. This is going to protect us from disease, because if the cell is healthy, we are going to be healthy, right? And also we're going to have more energy. So some people, when they raise their glutathione levels, they feel they have more energy, or so mainly a mental energy as well as physical energy sometimes. And then the most recognized function is as an antioxidant. It's the main antioxidant that we have. It's the main antioxidant because it regulates all the other antioxidants in the body that we obtain from food. So this is an antioxidant that we make, right? And it regulates the rest of antioxidants that we eat, right? As an antioxidant, it's going to have an anti-aging effect. And when we say anti-aging, it's also reversing all the problems that come with stress or the oxidation, oxidative stress, right? So it protects us from oxidation. And oxidation, it means aging, it means chronic disease, it means losing energy, right? So it's very important to have a good level of antioxidants. Antioxidant is a protection. So it's also a protection against cancer, for example. And then we have other functions like cofactor for collagen and elastin. It helps us regulate vitamin D. We know how many people nowadays have a low level of vitamin D. And we found that it's most important to have a good level of glutathione and your vitamin D levels raised, and you don't need to take it because not all vitamins D are good for you. So it's better to raise your glutathione levels if you want to have a good level of this vitamin. And also it has the function of protection against cancer, because the natural killer cells that protect us against cancer, they need good levels of glutathione. And a very promising effect of glutathione is as neuroprotectant. And here we're talking about Alzheimer, Parkinson, multiple sclerosis, autism. And this is the generation of the brain. The brain is the organ that most loses glutathione, right? Is the one that it must suffer from oxidation. So we really need to protect our brain. And how come that we don't have enough glutathione? Is this a failure of humanity, or why is that? Well, it's basically because our diet is something that has been changing over time, and it's not the original diet that we don't really know which one it was. But we cook and we process and we treat most of our food, right? If we eat milk, it's going to be pasteurized. If we have meat, we're going to probably cook it. So cysteine, which is we go back to this. Glutathione, as I didn't say this, is made of 3 amino acids, right? So if we have these amino acids, we're going to have glutathione. And that's the key, because we can have maybe a good level of magnesium in our cells, and that's not necessarily mean we're going to have good health, because we are going to have to be able to treat and use the magnesium, and it's a little bit complicated. But with glutathione, we just need the 3 amino acids. And this is always works like this. If we have the 3 amino acids, we're going to make glutathione because our body needs it. And it's very, very keen to make it. Right? So anybody can make it, any age, any time. But we don't have enough cysteine. That's the problem. We do not have enough cysteine, because cysteine is an amino acid that is only in raw food, and we cook most of our food. So when do we get cysteine? When we are babies, we get it from breast milk, from human breast milk, because this is raw. This is direct from the breast. It's never cooked, never heated, right? So cysteine is thermolabile. That means that it degrades with heat, it degrades with the acid of the stomach. So here we had a problem. we have a problem very difficult to solve, because most of our food is cooked and also is processed, is prepared, and our stomach acid is also going to degrade the cysteine. So we do not have enough cysteine to make glutathione. And that's why we start all the aging process. We are affected by toxins, by heavy metals, by stress, oxidation, right? But we had this company, which is a Canadian company, which is a scientific research company, and they devoted more than 40 years to study glutathione, and they found the best way to raise glutathione. So they found a fraction of milk from cow's milk. This fraction had cysteine in a way that is protected against heat and acid. This is called consolidated bioactive cysteine, and is found in a fraction of milk. In this case, it's cow's milk. So what they did is they concentrated this fraction. They microfiltrated to get rid of casein and lactose. And we have mainly a very high biological value protein with a very high level of consolidated cysteine, which is around 400 milligrams. So here they've protected the cysteine, and also is involved in a molecule of protein that helps all the carrying of the cysteine all the way to the cell membrane where it gets absorbed. So we start having a good level of glutathione, because the cell is getting cysteine, because this protein protects the cysteine, and the cysteine gets to the cell. So we have a 95% absorption. This is another study, because a lot of studies have been done where they found the difference. But in this case, with people who had severe COVID illness, they had low levels of glutathione. That's why people were talking about vitamin D, they were talking about zinc, but the main thing was a low level of glutathione. That's why some people are starting recommending to take NAC, which is an N-acetylcysteine, which is another way to give you cysteine, but this is not natural. This is a pharmacological supplement. It's half natural, half pharmacological, and it doesn't have the high level of absorption we get from this protein. So I think it's only 13% absorption, and also has a tendency to drop the levels when we take NAC. So we don't get sustainable glutathione levels.
And also,
right?
Elena, and also has a lot of side effects.
Yeah, and it can cause nausea, it can cause diarrhea, because it has a toxic level. I mean, it's a toxin. We can't take too much NAC because it's toxic. We can take a little bit, but not as much as we would need to really raise glutathione. Yeah, thank you. And this is Jimmy Goodman. He's written a book about glutathione, and he works for this Canadian company. And here we see they've done a lot of research. They have more than 80 patents. That means use patents. I mean, they had to prove that if you take Immunocal, you're going to have better results with people who have multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer, Parkinson. They've done a lot of research, and they've proven that, first of all, Immunocal raises glutathione. This has been proven. And also that taking Immunocal, you're going to improve from different diseases such as cancer, Parkinson, autism, as I said. This has all been published. It's in several educational companies, research journals. This is it's got all the patents and all the published research, which you can have a look at if you want. It's all on the internet. So what we say, this biomolecular change the game in the way that we really have found something that can really, really make a difference for many, many different symptoms and diseases for all ages. I mean, it's not only for people who are older. A baby can take it if he has any health problems. You can give it to a sports person. You can give it to someone young or older. It doesn't matter. It's always going to improve your glutathione with all the health improvements you're gonna see. So here we have the two different products that the company sells. This is Immunocard, as it is. This is the protein with the cysteine. And this anyone can take, and this is going to help you raise glutathione. But then you have Immunocard Platinum, which also contains cytokine modulating peptides, which help with inflammation. They reduce inflammation. They have mineral citrates that help with anything that has to do with the bones, with the articulation, with the osteo health, right? So it helps with osteoporosis, it helps with arthritis, and it has a low level of creatine, which is going to improve the muscles, no? It helps the muscles. And they have other products that this is more indicated for sport, but they have the booster, which is a mixture of 50 different fruits and vegetables that this helps to switch on this gene that triplicates the antioxidants in the body. This is like helps to make the most of glutathione. The magnifies the antioxidant effect, and also it helps some people who are not taking enough fruits and vegetables. Also has what we call sulforaphan, which is what helps to activate this gene, which has antioxidant properties. So this is really the product, and it's something very simple. It's just a protein. It's just giving your body cysteine in a way that is going to absorb it in a 95%. And all these benefits you're going to find from raising glutathione. So if you want to know about something in particular, because here we have this book, I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a lot of research, there's a lot of information. So we can talk about autism, we can talk about energy, immunity, we can talk about hormonal problems. I mean, if you have any interest in particular, we see if